Welcome to Tru North Podcast, where we help you find your path forward. My name is Mark Davis. This is Dr. Frank Griffin. Together we come together to create this podcast so that we can help you, whether it's your purpose, your destiny, your vision, your financial well-being. We wanted to come together and offer to you as an audience what we've learned as middle-aged guys who are now engineers, career-oriented people, etc. Fathers, dare I say grandfathers now?
Dare you say, it is true. That's exactly right.
Yeah, so that's what this is all about. And again, the real goal is to give away what we've learned. A lot of folks don't necessarily give back when they've been successful. And while I want to gloat on success, we've done okay. So we want to give that away, and I guarantee you we'll help you in one way or another as part of this process.
Absolutely.
So quick background on me. Born and raised in west side of Indianapolis. Went to Crispus Attucks High School, the home of Oscar Robertson.
That's right.
Played ball there.
We did.
I passed the ball, he shot it. So it worked pretty well. From Attucks, went on to Purdue. I tell you, coming from an inner city school, going to a major university is an eye-opener.
It was.
Yeah, our Crispus Attucks was nurturing in a lot of ways, but college prep, not quite. So you get in there and you do the best you can. You swing. You got to compete and you got to be intentional. We'll talk about that in the future.
Excellent.
From Purdue, did pretty well after I got the hang of it. First freshman year was scary.
It was rough.
We'll cover that in another. We'll cover that in a future podcast. But yeah, things went fairly well at the tail end. Joined a local utility company in downtown Indianapolis. Things went well there, but somewhere along the way, there was a need and an urge in me to change, to improve. I felt there was another level in me.
More.
And my destiny wasn't there. And no disrespect, but I took an offer I received in the Milwaukee area and joined a utility there as a director and quickly went to vice president. And currently I'm the chief operating officer of a multi-billion-dollar company.
Beautiful.
So really enjoying my career. But again, it took me to change my mind to leave Indy to go to the Milwaukee area, something I thought I'd never do. So, Frank?
Similar paths. I'm from the west side of Indianapolis also. We were walking distance, grew up walking distance from each other. Yeah, and played each other in grade school ball.
Yes, we did.
Yep, and spent a lot of years together after that in high school and college. But went to Crispus Attucks High School, went on to Purdue University, got a degree in electrical engineering. Graduated, worked for a few different Fortune 500, actually 4 different Fortune 500 companies. So got a lot of experience, traveled the world, did real well there. Currently working as a director of corporate responsibility in a Fortune 200 company, enjoying my career. And one of the alterations to my path that Mark talked about is I just felt the need to get more education. So I got not only an electrical engineering degree from Purdue, I got an MBA from Purdue, and then I went on and got a couple degrees in theology. I have a master's and a doctorate in theology. So just different paths, started the same, different paths, but the Lord has allowed us to be fairly successful, and we want to be able to share our experiences. Right, we've not done everything correctly, right?
No.
Yeah, but we've learned from that,
and we've done some things correctly.
We've done some things correctly, absolutely. We've navigated those fairly well, and we just want to share those with you. Yeah, absolutely.
So I think if you bundle the story together, you can see why we're here. We've got a lot to give back.
We do.
So
no doubt about it.
There's no limit. As you can tell, I don't mind talking. So over the course of these podcasts, we're going to lay it all out there.
We will.
And I guarantee you there's something that will benefit you.
Absolutely.
So, Frank, why don't you describe further Tru North and what we're about?
Yeah, again, what we want to do is to share our experiences to be a blessing to those who listen to us, right? And as we think about Tru North, we believe that everyone has a destiny. And each person should have a direction and a plan for their lives. And what we want to do is be specific in trying to get you to be able to identify the plan that is targeted specifically for your life. And we feel that plan is your true north, right? We believe that your personal destiny is your true north, and we want you to help to find that personal destiny. We want you to be able to minimize your liabilities and maximize your assets, if you will, right? We want you to not to make the same mistakes that we made. We want you to learn from our experiences, and we want you to be able to have the best life that you possibly can, that has been designed for you, right? To leverage the gifts that you have.
And
So,
Frank, if I could toss in
Sure.
real quick,
Yeah.
one of the things, if you talk to my kids, you'll hear is, why do you want to start at the bottom
Good.
run of a ladder?
Excellent.
When we've done a lot of things, made a lot of mistakes along the way,
Yeah.
but we built a foundation as our generation should. You don't always see that, but you should be able to start from where we
Absolutely.
we're leaving off.
Absolutely.
So
I agree.
yeah.
I agree. I think every generation, every parent wants their children to do better,
Yes.
right? That's my expectation, because of the lessons that we've learned and the experiences that we've had. And what we want to share is to be able to position you, just like Mark said, that you don't have to make all those mistakes. You can start at a different level and continue to grow from there. Absolutely. So we're excited about that. We're excited about sharing in a lot of different areas. Mark, just talk a little bit about some of the things that we will talk about in Tru North in
Sure.
the future podcast.
Sure. There's so many, I jotted them down,
Good.
which I normally don't, but I did this time.
Okay.
So I'll start with the 3 F's as we get going on the list: faith, family, and finances.
Excellent. Yep.
You'll hear a lot about all 3 of those.
Very good.
On the finance front, which is one of my passions,
Sure.
we'll hit you with things educating you on net worth, cash flow, balance sheets. We're in the midst of heavy inflation right now at the time of this recording.
Yes.
You want to strengthen your balance sheet.
Absolutely. Good. That's good.
Most folks may not know what that means.
That's good.
But you turn to the right podcast. Leverage. This is one that I learned in corporate America that we're not taught at school. We're not taught by our families.
No, we're not.
It's an amazing tool.
It is.
Was watching a show recently where a guy's a billionaire. Well, when the market tanked in 2008, his billionaire status went bang, right down the tubes. But you got to know what you're doing if you get into leveraging, and we'll talk about that. Wealth building, for sure.
Excellent.
The 8th wonder of the financial world. We'll talk about that. I'll keep that one a secret. You have to tune in, and we'll talk about it later.
It's a wonder.
Yeah, it is a wonder. Yeah, you got to wonder about that one. And then last but not least, the family bank on the finance end. That's an interesting tool and technique you can use at some point in your life.
Good.
A couple of others, that's on the financial. Those were sub-bullets of the finance side. Relative to hard work, Mamba mentality.
Yeah, that's going to be a good podcast.
Frank will do a really good job explaining time budgeting. That was an education for me. That happened in those few years we were apart raising our kids, but you'll really enjoy time budgeting. Other than health, time is the most important tool or asset you have.
Absolutely.
So
You leverage that.
you don't want to miss that. You are what you eat. I'll let you wander on where that's going to go. Identity theft. We'll really talk about purpose, planning, and intentionality. One thing about this podcast, if you're tuning in, you're going to want at some point change your mind.
Yeah.
That's one of the most difficult things you'll do in your life. But if you don't change your mind, how can you change your position?
That's right.
If you're tuning in here, that means you're probably not where you want to be, and there's someplace else you want to move to.
Excellent.
Well, if you don't change anything, you won't get there.
That's right.
And as I talked about leverage, I learned that from someone else. If my mind wasn't open, how would I ever soak that knowledge in? And now I want to give that over to you. So that's a handful of things. We got family we'll cover. We got education we'll cover. We'll dig deeper into career. We got a ton of things to offer you. And again, this podcast is unique in that we're not staying on the 101 basic stuff you can hear everywhere.
That's
We'll
right.
give you real life experiences.
Absolutely.
Like when our first math test and the wake-up call that was. We're going to tell you things that you won't hear just anywhere.
That's
so
exactly right. That's exactly right. Yeah,
Yep.
that's perfect. A couple of things that resonate with me we'll cover also is you don't want to leave your life to chance.
yes,
Right? Many times the problem is we'll wake up every morning and just allow, Mark, I've heard you say this, just allow life to kind of just pull us around.
yeah,
Right? But you don't want life to put a demand on you. You want to put a demand on life.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's
so
right.
we'll talk about being more proactive than reactive. So
Yeah.
when you wake up in the morning, you need to have a plan.
yes,
Right?
every
we'll
day.
talk about that every day.
Every day.
Every day, you need to have a plan, right? You should not just allow Tuesday to happen.
Yeah, no,
Yeah, you need
no.
to plan Tuesday,
Yes.
Monday night, or
Yes.
Tuesday morning. What you gonna do on Tuesday? So we'll talk about things like that, right?
And you'll challenge yourself. You should challenge yourself at the end of the day. Did I get anything done?
Did I do?
Did
what
I
I planned to
accomplish
do?
anything?
That's exactly
Yeah, if I
right.
didn't get what I planned, did I get something done?
And then adjust accordingly.
Yeah.
Right. If you don't make it, make the adjustment.
I'll offer one personal one for me is I'm moving quarter by quarter. This season of life, I don't have time to waste.
I don't
So you might appreciate this. I told myself at the beginning of the year, I've got to learn this cryptocurrency thing.
Yeah, we talked about that.
Young folks are in, and I'm thinking, I don't want to be that middle-aged guy that doesn't understand.
misses it.
Yeah, because it actually could stick as I'm learning. By the 2 days left in the quarter, I've bought my first cryptocurrency.
Okay.
So, of course,
Started.
growing up in the .com world, I only put enough money in there I could afford to lose. So keep that in mind. Yeah.
But you do want to keep your mind open. The world is changing around us.
Yes, it is.
Right, you can't stay in the 70s, right?
No.
Great music, horrible
Yeah,
fashion,
great.
music, right?
Well
so
said.
80s, 90s with great technology, the technology shift, if you will, the tech-com boom, right?
Yeah.
But you got to evolve.
Yes,
gotta
you
evolve,
do.
Right, so that's what we want to talk about also. So I'm excited about it, Mark. I'm really excited about what we're trying to get done here. Yeah.
Same here.
Yeah. Another thing last thing I was thinking about is we want to try to teach also to create habits, positive habits for your life, right? Well, many times we think habits are negative, but if you create a positive habit, then success goes on autopilot.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah, it does.
It does.
Yeah, once
because you think
you're
a
there.
different way.
Absolutely. You change the way you think, right? You do what you're supposed to do, and then success just has to come. It's not that difficult, right? So we just got to be diligent and purposeful about it, right? So
To that point, I'd offer up folks in the audience, either viewing or listening to us, what have you done different
Good.
in the last month, 2 months, 3 months? If you haven't done anything, you're wasting time.
That's right.
Another thing,
Good.
if you're always the smartest person in the room, I know everybody's heard this one, you need to find a new room because you're not learning anything.
No, you're not.
So
that's exactly what you're maxing out.
Exactly.
Yeah, you need to be challenged. You need to be uncomfortable.
Yes.
Right? We'll talk about being comfortable, being uncomfortable.
Yes.
That's very important for
Yes.
growth.
Yes.
Yeah.
From our life experiences, some of the best things that have happened you've gone through. I mean, you've gone through a lot of work. Yeah, a lot of pain too.
That's true.
But you're supposed to walk through it, not around it,
That's
not
exactly
avoid
right.
it.
That's
If
exactly
you choose the easy route, easy things typically aren't worth much.
Mediocre.
Yeah.
Exactly. That's exactly
Yeah,
right.
and we'll talk more about mediocrity, one
Yeah.
of my
You
favorite
don't
subjects.
don't wanna say
Mediocre people don't know they're mediocre.
And that's a problem.
Let that marinate.
That's a problem too.
And you'll know you're not mediocre when you evaluate what you put your hand on is better
that's good.
than when you found it.
That's good. That's good. That's exactly
That's how you know you're not.
Excellent.
So
Excellent.
we'll get into that a little deeper and give you some real good examples of both.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And
The positive and the negative.
One little nugget on mediocrity is when you find somebody you've talked to in life and you find them in the same place you left them 3-4 years ago, you got to say, Nah, I got to move on. I got to find this somebody that's moving.
Yeah.
That
challenges.
Yeah, from a spiritual standpoint, I know there's movement.
Always.
Yeah.
There's always more.
Yeah.
God, always more.
What is it that things that don't move get stale? Stale things they stink.
That's exactly
ultimately right. After they've been sitting for too long.
They start to
don't
stink.
let that happen
That's
to
right.
your
you
life.
Don't want to stink.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's what happens.
Yeah,
that's
exactly.
Right. That's right. So Tru North Podcast 0. Everybody, we're excited about sharing with you, right, Mark? Yeah. So Mark Davis.
Frank?
I'm looking forward to it.
All right.
Yeah.
All right.
Let's
Off we go.
Off we go. Podcast 0. Thank you.
Thanks, all.